So the previous two games, spoiler alert for like the next 2 seconds, have been 0-2. So they cannot finish any higher than 7th out of 8. There are 8 teams in the Clash tournament, and this is pretty much the bottom of the barrel. They are fighting for 7th or 8th. Now, hopefully, they don't actually place 8th, because that would just be embarrassing and a waste of $50, which is a lot of money. You could buy a lot of stuff with $50. But for this cast, I am reclining into my chair, just enjoying the view from here, because I'm not in this dumpster fire. I will spend this Spectre delay to talk about Clash yesterday as opposed to today, just because Clash today has just been completely depressing to watch. Yesterday's Clash games actually went pretty well. Like I was the mid laner as opposed to our AD carry being off role. And speaking of AD carry, there's a role swap. The support from the previous 2 games is now playing ADC. The bottom lane appears to have role swapped, just because I know there's a Leona player here, so essentially Leona one trick as support role. So yeah, that does make sense to trade up the 2 roles in bottom lane. So the game is going to be starting soon, but we're going to talk about yesterday's Clash. Going back to topic, it went pretty well for most of it actually. Like we won game 1, which was surprisingly easy. Mostly because we just leveraged some really good opportunities and windows. There was a really, really damn good flank at Dragon Pit that I kind of did, and that picked up 3 people. And then the fight that actually straight up turned the game from kind of losing to 1 was when they caught out our top laner in River 1v5 essentially, and instead of dying, our top laner just killed them all. So that was the hero play that actually won game 1. And game 2 was actually pretty grim. Like I made a really bad mistake. I was split pushing without TP. I thought Baron buff would be enough to get me back in time, but it wasn't, and my whole team got wiped inside our base. So I had to try to solo defend against 4 people, but luckily they didn't have a strong enough minion wave. So I actually managed to defend base for long enough, and from that position we actually cleaned up from there and won the game off it just by securing Baron and Drake right after. And third game was a tragedy. We had one really good fight early on, and then from there it was just like running it down, essentially. Like we played really terribly in the last game, and that was why we got 2nd place. But today's results have also been less than stellar so far. Instead of placing 2nd, we are now fighting to place 2nd last.
Yeah.
So not the best outlook, but luckily I'm not in this dumpster fire. Ha! I get to watch. So we'll run down the matchups real quick. It is going to be Ornn top with Valkos mid. Oh, that's a very interesting choice for a mid laner here. We are going to rearrange the scoreboard based on roles, and let's see how this game plays out from... Oh, sorry, I moved the camera. Okay, there we go. We're going to see how this game plays out from this position. This is gonna be a full-on ARAM. What the heck? Did they agree to do this? Caitlyn gets rooted up by live binding. Oh, the Wildcats Q. Vladimir so low! Oh, first blow for Ezreal! Oh no. Okay, well the agreed upon ARAM just didn't work. Red team secures first blood. Vladimir dies. He doesn't actually lose summoners critically, so not the most disastrous thing. Ezreal does get to start the game a bit closer to getting tier. Probably not the best outcome you want, but not losing any summoners I think is the bigger deal here. They still get to play on with essentially no major disadvantages. Now they're going to go back and resume their normal routes. Both Strongbers opting to start top, putting very heavy emphasis onto bot lane. They're both going to try to make a level 3 double buff gank onto bot, and in that regard I will actually give it over to Sett in this gank matchup. I think he can actually secure things, especially with the Leona as a support. Oh wait, Valkos support. That makes so much more sense. I just noticed, I'm blind. Yeah. My apologies. But still, Leona is a much preferable support. The poke is a little bit painful to stomach. but nothing terrifying thus far. It is a very it's such a good zoning tool. Olaf has actually found Set. They're both level 2, but Set doesn't have blue buff. Oh, the dunk. Olaf gets a very easy solo kill in the blue team jungle. So now blue team's jungler gets heavily put back. Not only does he just lose the blue buff for no reason, he gives away a solo kill over to the Olaf, and he's going to lose his wolf camp. So now Olaf quite ahead. This game is just off to an awful start for blue team. Now it's up to them to turn it around. They do have the tools to turn it around. They have much better late game threats. The Caitlyn versus Ezreal late game, both are very stellar champions for late game scenarios. I actually personally prefer Caitlyn a little bit more. That might not be the convention. I think conventionally people might consider Ezreal late game to be stronger. Although since like a year ago when he's not allowed to build double tier anymore, it might not be the case it might no longer be the case. Olaf's gonna find a gank on Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser doesn't have phase rush or anything. He has to use his flash, but Orange follows him right after. Caitlyn's taking quite a bit of pain, but Seth is here. Ezra has the arcane shift away, so Leona picks up that kill, getting one back, putting them onto the scoreboard. Excellent dodge on the line binding from Tides of Blood. The self-slow, not enough to have him to get trapped there. Vladimir is actually doing quite well in this lane now. Lux does have some mana problems before she can get her last chapter. And Vladimir can actually farm it out against her pretty easily. When the Vladimir gets fed and going, he is quite terrifying.
That's true.
Now, I say that, but from the first game's Vladimir performance, I have several critiques with Vladimir's item build path. And I don't think that he was building correctly. So, I don't think the Vladimir builds have changed. It's always been grab your Kindle Gem, then grab your Codex, and then actually finish your first item. The reason for this is just because Vladimir is so incredibly CDR reliant that you want your Kindle Gem and you want your Codex. Like early game, you're just building components for CDR, so you can actually stay in lane, you can actually start being relevant. Most of this is just because you want more transfuses. It does very crappy damage, and the scales very poorly early game. So just straight up building AP and building into full items doesn't actually give you as much sustainability as just getting CDR. And in that case, you get your Kindle Gem, get your Codex, turn your Kindle Gem into oh wow, that was very close. Turn your Kindle Gem into Proto Belt, and then turn your Codex into either Hourglass or Spellbinder. And that's always been the way that Vladimir should build. And last game, or the first time the Vladimir was played by this mid laner, they actually skipped Codex entirely, which I don't agree with. Just because having taken Transcendence, which actually should scale you beyond 45% CDR, and having taken Cosmic Insight, Vladimir didn't actually hit 45% CDR until like level 15. And by then the game was already lost. You desperately need to include more CDR into this build, which generally is the key for most resourceless champions in this game. They all hyperscale off CDR, and it's the one item that you should be prioritizing. But the all-in comes now. Flash Tides of Blood. The laser finds the kill. Oh, Lux does not actually die. Very unfortunate sequence of events. Once again, first item revolver. No, bad. Refund that. Get a Kindle Gem. Okay, so we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this real quick. Every 40 points of bonus health gives him 1 AP. Vladimir gets 40 AP from Hextech Revolver.
Yes. And
he gets an auto that deals 72 bonus magic damage on an auto attack. No CDR, no anything. That is all you're paying for 1050 gold. 40 AP. And a little bit of bonus auto damage, which Vladimir does get, but it doesn't benefit off it as much as he should. As opposed to a Kindle Gem, which I believe was like... Is this 300 HP? How much is Kindle Gem? Look it up for me real quick.
400.
400 HP?
I'm pretty sure. Something like that.
Oh, damn it. Now you're making me go on the wiki. Kindle Gem. Kindle Gem is 200 health.
200 health.
Yeah, 200
okay.
health. So that actually
So
gives him 5 AP, which isn't a lot, but critically gives him CDR. And the 10% CDR onto Transfuse this early on in the game is worth so much more than 35 extra AP. And it's also cheaper. He's allowed to build Kindle Gem and buy more wards off it. Revolver doesn't actually get you any tangible benefits immediately. You just need that one stat. And I sound like a broken record repeating it over and over. But I seriously hate going Revolver over Kindle. Getting 200 extra health compared to like an extra 70 or 80 or so is just worse for Vladimir. Because Vladimir also scales up health. Things like Sanguine Pool, that scales up health as well. So it's not like AP is the only thing that allows him to deal damage. 1-for-1 trade at bot lane. Leona takes down the Olaf, but Volkos gets one back. 2-4 so far. Despite how many kills that red team has found early on, they're not actually turning it into tangible leads. The gold lead is actually still dead even though, you know, it has no business being in that position. Lux slapping the Vladimir quite a bit there. Now in this game, Vladimir actually opting for the ignite. He wants to go for kills. Oh, the flash comes down. Third stack. The true shot finds the kill. 2-5 is the kill lead. Blue team secures Infernal Drake. The next Drake that spawns is Cloud. Oh, Death Realm comes out. Ornn is trapped in the Shadow Realm. Can he fight this out? The Mace misses. No passive for Mordekaiser just yet, so Ornn just gets to walk away for free. He does take a massive chunk of his health and damage, so he has to go back from this position. But Mordekaiser, unfortunately, not finding that kill in the Death Realm. Now we'll take a look at Vlad's stats once again. He's getting currently less than 100 bonus health. He did finish his Kindle Gem, so he is actually once again opting to finish a full item first. Once again, bad decision. Oh, Solar Flare finds onto 2. Well, cause the bullet gets taken out by Ezreal, but Ezreal is now so low. However, Leona needs to get out of there. Life Orb Disintegration Ray coming down, but Cause is channeling on top of a ward. So the Caitlyn finds a kill. No ace in the hole anymore. Ezreal gets to walk away, but Cause gives up his life for the cause.
Oof.
Despite these early laning kills, red team, for the life of them, just can't seem to hold on to a gold lead. Vladimir being chased off by the Lux. He is leading in CS. The Vladimir is not losing this lane per se. And when the game scales out past a certain point, Vladimir will always be infinitely scary. Because I hate that champion, I hate how it's designed. Oh, the ramp does not get knocked back in time. Set finds that kill. Pulling some back, putting them back on the scoreboard, almost evening out the kill count now. And now they have the gold lead. Red team fighting kills but not finding the CS. Oh, the binding not dodged out. Laser, perfect timing. But Lux doesn't actually have the ignite. She's going to settle with spraying Vlad to dot health. Unfortunately, light binding not dodged by the pool, so Vladimir just eats the entire damage combo. He is level 9. One more level, he gets Transcendence, which with this item build is suddenly so much less valuable. Just because hitting Transcendence ties you with a Vlad that would build a Codex as opposed to rocketing you a bit ahead. So he's no more as powerful as he would if he just built a Codex instead of the Revolver.
Ooh.
But here comes a Chemo Plague onto 2. Can he find the kill? The Chemo Plague pop kills off the Olaf and Lux. Stranded. Set actually punches a word. And Lux, is that enough to walk away? Haymaker damage. Not finding the cone. Lux flashes away. No death from Lux. But Chemo Plague finds one onto the Olaf. The kills have been tied up now. Blue team is now ahead in this game. despite some early game mishaps, they are now in command of this game. Just by virtue of farming better, honestly. Vladimir is beating Lux in farm, and now they're securing Herald, and they're securing a Drake. Caitlyn is not really holding the CS lead, but Caitlyn is also not incredibly behind. Ezreal is only slightly ahead in gold lead, and Caitlyn does a little bit more with her early items than Ezreal does. Ezreal takes time for his items to actually scale up into being terrifying. Warren gets pulled back, he's going to be an easy victim, and that's going to be a Herald secure. Olaf walks up into the river. Oh, it's actually fully resets, never mind! Uh-oh. Will they commit for it? Final spark is up. Will Lux go for it? She does send it out, but finds nothing. Vladimir comes down. Empower Transfuse. Gets that kill. And actually procs Phase Rush as well, because that was 3 hits. Lux staying way too low. And that suddenly brings the kill lead from 2-5 to 8-5. Red team is losing steam fast. And now they need to find a way to come back into this game. Blue team drops the Herald. They want the place now. Olaf's gonna run in. He's gonna try to save the turret. Empower Transfuse, just sucking the life force out of the Olaf. Olaf does kill off the Herald, but Herald makes a charge. Life from Disintegration Ray procs while causes passive, and he takes that kill. Solo kills, essentially a solo kill onto the Kate. All Leona can do from that position was watch. Not in range for Solar Flare. And that's going to be Cloud Drake for Red Team, taking one back. And securing Cloud Drake, which I still maintain is the strongest Drake in the game.
It is.
Like in terms of stack power and the soul, it is the strongest Drake in the game.
Yeah.
It gives something that no other Drake can possibly give. In fact, no other item can possibly give in over-cap CDR reduction on ultimates. And movement speed is always... I personally value movement speed as the strongest stat in the game, next to attack range. And to have more of that, it's... Well, they won't get movement speed this game. What am I even talking about? Because it's not going to be Cloud Soul, but Cloud Soul in general, one of the strongest souls in the game. That movement speed it gives on ultimates, and just a passive 10% increase, that's insane.
Yeah.
It gets underappreciated by most because it's not as explosive as or immediately evident as something like Ocean Soul or even Mountain or Infernal Soul. But Cloud Soul is one of the strongest, one of the best buffs you could get permanently. But the Rift this game is going to be Mountain. Warren in particular loves Mountain because it actually stacks on top of his passive as well, and it just makes him completely unkillable. You get... I think I had a game where I got 3 Mountain Drakes as an Ornn, and I just stacked armor against full AD team, and I wasn't even on my last armor item, and I had 510 armor, or something stupid like that, and I was just completely unkillable. Ornn is such a good tank. Oh, Olaf gets ulted, he gets dragged into Death Realm, but he ults and gets himself back out. And now he's slapping this Mordekaiser around, but he's taking so many tower shots! Seth comes in and cleans up that kill. That tower dive just not working out. Running it down, essentially. He even flashed for it. Just not paying off. The lead firmly in blue team's hands at this stage in the game. Vladimir has even made his way top. They want this turret. Lux gets some alone time at mid. But she's not going to get anything critical out of it. Doesn't seem like. Top turret dies. On red team's side. And now the game continues. Vladimir still holding a very healthy CS lead over the Lux. And Lux actually opted to finish her Sorcerer Shoes over finishing Luden's Echo. I personally am neutral on that choice. I do think completing Luden's as a Lux is probably a higher priority than getting boots. Because Lux as a character plays so safe and far back anyway that the movement speed is not really necessary unless you're trying to roam a lot. But in this position, Lux can't really roam. Getting Ludens actually helps you wave clear a lot better, because it guarantees that you can kill the backline with 1E. And it accelerates your farm, it accelerates your push, and it allows you to play less scared. But finishing Boots on top of that just means her Ludens is going to be delayed. And this delay might actually be a very critical thing. It's not like, oh, I'm a few minutes late on Ludens, but those few minutes can actually mean a lot of difference. Like, it could mean your CS lead ballooning out of control. It could mean that your opposing mid laner gets to roam a lot more. And so far, they're both coming true to a small extent. Ludens Echo finally finished for Lux, 17 minutes in. I don't really have a grasp on what the part time for finishing Ludens is. I'm tempted to say something like 14-15 minutes, but she stuck her boots in there, so it gets delayed by a little bit. Meanwhile, Vladimir, he's actually sticking with the item build that he went in his first Clash game, which once again is incorrect. But
Yeah.
Last time he actually straight rushed for Death Cap, which is not a good decision. You should get that Spellbinder. It's a better item than Death Cap at this stage in the game and on Vladimir in general. Oh, the Hemo Plate gets dropped down on Vladimir. The laser, finally, not going to find the kill. The Hemo Plate heal will pop. Vladimir is back to half. And now Set is back to turn the fight. He has the Showstopper. Will he land it in time? Flash from the Vladimir, and Haymaker finds a kill on Lux. That gank did not work out. Just gets turned on his head. Blue team now, once again, 10 kills. First to hit double digits in this game. Zenith's Blade finds the Valkaz and Solar Flare. The CC chain gets flashed out and Valkaz is safe and sound. But Mordekaiser gets pounded by the horns and he drops dead on the ground. Haymaker, true damage, finds it. He doesn't even die. Summoner heal keeps him alive. True Sharp Barrage just barely whiffs him on the edge. Ace in the hole, clips Ezreal down to below 20 health. Now he needs to get out. And this tower is gonna be blue team's property. Beautiful roam from the Set and the Vladimir, finding the critical Valkaz kill and finding the critical first tower for bot lane. 2 towers to 0 now, and they're going to secure Mountain Drake, spawning just in time. A good sequence of mad movements from blue team, cementing their lead so far. Olaf is here. He does see several people low. Oh, the Leona is so low. 1 true damage. Dunk will kill. No. Oh. No! No! She's gonna walk away! Undertow misses! Oh, is this enough? The Zenith's Blade? No, not gonna find it. Lux gets the kill, but she has to commit final spark to do it. It does get partially reset. Does it? I thought they removed it. Let me check. Yeah, they removed it. Never mind.
Yeah.
I didn't keep up to date with that patch. Leona the only victim, but blue team secures Drake off the back of it, so that's worth for them. Red team will try to answer by taking the turret, and they will get it. Is Caitlyn in trouble? Nope, doesn't look like it. She will walk away. Ezreal actually went for Iceborne Gauntlet this game over Triforce. He needs to be a bit more defensive, and it does offer him a means to kite out the Set and slow down the Vlad. Blue team's cores are also quite kiteable, with the exception of Vladimir. Vladimir sometimes has trouble reaching the backline, but once he gets there, it's game over. Vladimir can pull off a flank and just win from there, but he gets rooted up. He dropped Hemo Plague! No, he didn't drop Hemo Plague, but now he ends the fight with Hemo Plague on the ground, which does jack all, and just scratches 3 people's health bars, and he will drop, getting caught out on the side. He finishes Death Cap!
Yikes.
No, don't do that. Sad's gonna run in, Facebreaker onto 2, but no stun. The teleport is being channeled by the Ornn, but the rest of the red team being sent up for the slaughterhouse. Ornn comes in, but he's lonely. Showstopper grabs him back. He can't even knock back the horn. And the Ram will desert him and leave him to die. 3 for nothing, I'll say, because Vladimir died before the fight began. Beautiful Showstopper from the Set, stopping the Ram from being knocked back. Not that it would have actually mattered, but that was a very good play regardless. And the push, 3-man run coming down. This is a match of mentals, which I didn't even discuss. Both teams coming off 0-2 in Clash. Both of their mentals in pieces, shattered beyond recognition. This is as much a mental warfare as it is a last place settle match. Now, when their mentals collapse, the team that goes 0-3 in Clash will not have a good time here. And it does look like so far it's gonna be red team walking away with 8th place. Mordekaiser kidnaps Wildcards in the death run but dies himself in response. Vladimir is gonna farm up top and Olaf has to retreat. You can tell that when the team has decided that they are on the back foot, they just start conceding stuff away. Their movements become less coordinated. And it's clear that they're playing on more autopilot than anything else. They're losing coordination, they're losing team play. And it's definitely happening to red team. Their members are being scattered out a lot. That fight mid was particularly telling, where Warren came in at a very awkward angle and a very awkward time and place, and the rest of the team just got slaughtered. Now he's going to be caught out alone at top lane, but reinforcements are coming in. Olaf is here, so is the Lux. Light Binding Lions on Leona. Final spark, not finding the Vladimir, but Leona will be the victim here. He has to try to run away now. Very angry Viking man. He pops the Hemo Blade, he's going to turn, but he gets smacked by Reckless Swing, so he's just so low. Showstopper brings the Lux back. Wildcard has to cancel Life from Disintegration Ray, and now Seth is in the middle of two people. He is punching down the Olaf, but Olaf loves it when somebody's low, because he can just dunk them for the kill. 3-for-1 up top. Red team finally finds a fight that goes their way. Meanwhile, what is the rest of blue team doing? They have reset and now they were on their way to top lane, but now they have to call it off. Red team secures a favorable position, but blue team takes Scuttle and runs for the hills. And now the fight continues. Mordekaiser is laning mid. Red team is just gonna start running around looking for more objectives to take. The next objective is coming up, 20 seconds to Mountain Drake. If red team gets this, they will be at soul point. Red team would like to prevent that if they can. Once the team is at soul point, they innately have more map control because they can dictate where red team goes to an extent. Whenever dragon spawns, they can just force them to be there because you don't want to give away the soul. The soul point Drake matters almost just as much as the soul itself in some circumstances, and this might be one of them. Olaf does have Ragnarok, he does pop it. Hemoplague is in the backline. Vladimir roaming back as a pool of blood. Life from Disintegration Ray gets instantly cancelled out. 2-for-0, and this is a dragon secure. Red team beaten and bruised, cannot contest this. Ezreal is dot hell's final spark, a little bit too early on the trigger, not going to actually find it. Ornn kills off a tower top lane. I think he killed it at least. Now he's going to walk away with a slight consolation prize, as it were. Getting just the tower in response to Mountain Drake's Mountain Drake number 2 and Dragon number 3 being taken by blue team. I like Wildcard's speed up animation. He just swims around like a squid. It's very interesting. The game is settling back down. The last set of objectives firmly going the way of blue team. And now the game continues. Blue team is just pulling ahead more and more as time goes on. Their goal lead is not substantial enough to say that they're crushing this game, but they're definitely slowly settling into a place where the game is now probably unlosable. Vladimir is working on Zayas, and just to trigger me even more, he saved Codex for last. But then again, that is the trifecta that Vladimir gets for 45% CDR. Ezreal just randomly dies. But Vladimir is going to complete the trifecta of Proto Belt, Hourglass, and Death Cap. The core build that gets him to 45%. But he's doing it in the exact wrong order that you should be. He gets Proto Belt first, but the wrong component. I'm kind of triggered, not gonna lie. The final spark almost finding the kill onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn is not helped, but Showstopper comes down. Wildcards is being slammed back. The ace in the hole from a billion miles away, killing off the Wildcards. Leona gets dunked by Reckless Swing, and she is fallen. 1-for-3 so far. That is some havoc going on in the back and up top lane. Ornn gets solo killed by the Mordekaiser. No Ezreal in that fight, and Lux was the only survivor. Ezreal has just now respawned, and he's going to try to make his way back. Red team's turret does fall. They are now 5 turrets to 2 for blue team, and now they're sieging. Mid T3 for red team. Very far ahead in this game. True Shot Barrage doing diddly squad against blue team. This is an open inhibitor. They don't have the fastest inhibitor killing squad, but they can definitely do it uncontested. Nobody can really stop them unless the Mordekaiser, he gets snared up and drops to the final spark. Seth has to run away. Haymaker shield buys him a little bit of time. Frontline Caitlyn has to try to run away. Caitlyn arrives with reinforcement, but might be a martyr if she continues any forward. They are giving chase to her. They want it. Light binding, very wishful, not gonna find it. Vladimir still hovering around in the wings, so red team has to back off from this position. They cannot continue. Vladimir is going to oh, sorry, move the camera. Vladimir is going to steal away a few small chickens on his way out. Getting some KFC to go. Lux is gonna secure blue buff for herself.
It's an interesting Olaf build.
What is it? Oh, he's not going for off tank. He's going full tank.
Yeah.
Not the best choice, I say, because Olaf does have the natural sustain that you should go a little bit damagey. Not even warrior. He wins Cinderhawk, huh?
Ooh.
He's also working on what I'm assuming is Deadman's. If he builds Sunfires like that, no, he can't build Sunfires from those items. Never mind. He is going for Deadman's.
Well, warrior is enough AD for Olaf too.
He did go Cinderhawk, which is weird. Like, what benefit do you get out of Cinderhawk as opposed to warrior?
More HP.
That's not good enough for an Olaf. Ooh, Facebreaker. Cheeky kill on the Scuttle. Baron is up, but Cinderhawk from the set actually made Baron angry, so it started spitting at him. But Widgeon has been cleared out for the most part in the pit. There is still a red ward in the pit. Vladimir is trying to look for something, but it's a very difficult fight to take from this angle. Set is actually 7-2. Caitlyn is 6-2. Their cores are quite fed. Vladimir is not fed because he built wrong.
Death Cap first.
Protowell first, but the wrong component, and then Death Cap before Hourglass. Just not what I would do, ever. The horn gets sounded. Or is trying for a desperate engage. That's a 3-man knockup with the ramp. Set is the first victim. He gets dropped down immediately. Leona, she is tanky, but there's a very angry Viking running down the AD carry. Caitlyn has to run for the hills, but Vladimir is trying to find the 1v1. The Ezreal comes in and helps Ornn claim that kill. So far looking very favorable for the red team. They kidnap all the Valkos walks back into Mordekaiser's passive and dies to the burn. Now Caitlyn has made her way back. Olaf did die. He did not finalize that kill. And from what seemed like a good start, red team gets completely cleaned up from a lack of focus, only killing off the Vladimir and the early catch on set. And now blue team 3-man strong. They're going for the GG push. They're going to end the game right here. They have the Caitlyn. They have Demolish running. These towers are not going to last forever. It is 1 tower down already. Death timer is still so long. They're not going to be up in time. Blue team, off one good team fight close to red team's base, actually takes this game.
And that's second last place for the blue
Second
team.
last place secured. 7th
Not
place.
a bad thing.
At least it wasn't last.
At least it wasn't last.
Alright, we'll take a look at the damage charts. I don't have too much to say about this game other than some early leads from red team just didn't get converted whatsoever. I'm surprised at Lux's damage chart actually. She definitely didn't seem like she performed that well this game. Yeah, she did get a few she got a few very good kills onto the Vladimir, but aside from that, not too much to show in terms of advantages. And all the early lead they accrued just kind of fell flat. They were just being outplayed around the map. Honestly, blue team had better macro, better rotations, and all those early solo kills didn't really matter once blue team started grouping up, and red team just wasn't able to respond in time.
Some interesting builds from red team though.
Oh yeah. Some of these items were definitely suboptimal.
Suboptimal.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like, I wouldn't be completing QSS that early. I'll just leave it at the QSS. Executioner is quite early on as well. the Olaf just straight up went full tank. He actually went GA. Oh my god.
That's that's a situation.
Luden's Echo was upgraded, which is one of the worst things that you should upgrade in
GA
AP department. Hourglass is
GA
better.
is not that bad though on Olaf.
Yeah, but
Like if you had
with that
Warrior
build?
instead of
with that build, no.
if you had Warrior instead of
Lux actually fell so far behind. She went Ludens into Morelos, which means that Ornn was forced to upgrade Ludens, which is one of the worst things to upgrade in terms of an AP item. Deathcap is by far best item to upgrade. Sometimes Hourglass is situationally great as well. You never want to touch a Ludens with a Masterwork. And speaking of Masterwork, Ornn got his 2 items, decided he was full build, and just stopped building items after that point. Ending the game with a health potion in your inventory is just not a good sign.
yeah.
But overall, that is a 7th place showing from the Clash team that we were all rooting for. Not the best showing, obviously, but at least it's not last. That's all we
At
can
least
say.
it's not last. That's the important part.
Yeah. So thank you for the co-cast, and this was an enjoyable series of games to cast. Now I'll go drink some water before my throat rips in half from screaming all
I
the
didn't
time.
really cast much, but okay.
All right.
I didn't even say anything most of the time.
That's okay. You were playing Starbound the whole time.
Oh no, I was playing TFT.
Oh, you were playing TFT the whole time. Okay.
I played Starbound for a bit, and then I played one TFT.
All right. Well, that is going to be the end of Clash for this weekend. Actually, a pretty fun weekend for me. Actually, I played in one, and I get to cast in another.
Yeah.